It is summer, which means it's time for summer Halloween DIYs. Basically what we're doing today is we're going to make a cute little glass for a fun drink or whatever you want in there, and we're going to make a little snack to celebrate Summerween. This is hosted by Indiana Jones DIY, and there is a giveaway which I will tell you more about in just a little bit, but I hope you enjoy today's Summerween video. Woohoo! Step number 1. Change clothes because it's way too hot for a Halloween sweater when it's summer out. Step number 2, wear the crown you wore for your 30th birthday. Hello, I'm 30 now. Step number 3, let's paint this cute little glass. I got this thin and tall glass here from Walmart. I think it was only like $2, and I am just wiping it down with some rubbing alcohol and a paper towel to get any sort of oils and fingerprints on there, because it will not help the paint to stick if there are some of those things on there. So I just cleaned it off first. I did wash my hands before this too, so I wouldn't be like counterproductive of putting oily hands on it and then wiping it down. And I'm just using a multi-surface paint of a folk art paint in the color red, some sort of red, I don't know exactly which shade, but I'm just going to paint on some drips on here to make it kind of look spooky and bloody, but also kind of fun and colorful. And I do this around the entire glass. I am making sure it is thicker towards the bottom and getting thinner towards the top. I also like the idea of it being almost kind of like wiggly and wavy, not just perfect straight drips, because I imagine that it wouldn't be perfect if it were real. Not that I would want it to be, but anyways, that's kind of the look I'm going for here. And it just felt like, I don't know, it didn't feel like it made sense at the top, so now I'm kind of going around and make some wavy little smaller drips and a solid rim at the top of the red paint with the same multi-surface paint. Now it is important that you use multi-surface paint because it tells you right on there how to bake it in the oven to make it more permanent, whereas a regular paint will not let you do that. So make sure that when you do a project like this or any project on glass that you pick a multi-surface paint. I am taking that same little alcohol paper towel and just cleaning up some little mistakes here, which is super easy to remove if you do that. My finger had gotten in one of the red drops and was leaving fingerprints everywhere, so I was just cleaning that up. And I'm going around and making sure that these all look decent and aren't like, I don't know, just sticking out funny. So I want to make it look like a smooth transition from the top to the bottom of the drip. And I did let this dry. I suppose you could probably like really lightly blow dry it with some cold blow drying air, like the cool setting. But I just let mine dry for a while, and then I went in with a second layer because it was a bit translucent, which would mean that there is some color, but you can still see through it a bit. So this is actually the second layer that you're seeing here. And I did lay my paint on pretty thick, which I'll show you how it results. My thought was that it would just have like a thick, when it's dry, it would just be thick, almost like a puffy paint, but it did dry a little bit differently than what I had expected. Like I said, I'll show you that when it's done in a minute here. Now you're going to set it in the oven, and I realized that my shelf was too tall right away, so I had to take out the top rack. But you're going to set it in there while your oven is preheating. So I literally had just turned it on. I believe it's at 350. Just follow whatever your paint bottle says. And then you're going to set it on the rack for 30 minutes and then turn the heat off and let it sit in there until it's completely cooled or almost cooled, and then set it out. The reason for this is so that you don't want it to be shocked from going in while it's too hot or being taken out while it's hot and cracking. So I took it out of the oven. There's these weird little like bubble things. Can you guys see that? I don't know. There's these like, I think it's because I painted it on so thick. Maybe it adds to the gore of it. I don't know. But basically, I let it cool off in the oven and then took it out. It's got these little funny clots in it. But whatever. Maybe it adds to the fun of Halloween. So, this baby is done. I'm going to let it hang out and work on our pizza. Real quick before we jump into the pizza, I want to tell you more about this Summerween collab. It is hosted by Indiana Jones. I will have the playlist down below. But there is a giveaway! So you're going to have to answer a question or comment in each person's video. The deadline to enter is June 30th, and then we will all announce it. You're going to received some stuff from Annie's Secret Craft Stash, which is pretty exciting. So if you want to enter for that, make sure you comment or answer the question in each person's video on the playlist, which again I will have linked down for you below. I thought it'd be really neat to make a skull-shaped tortilla pizza. This is a delicious snack, super easy for parties if you are having Summerween or Halloween party. So I'm just cutting it in the shape of the skull by taking out a little sliver on each side, spraying it with some oil, and then sprinkling it with some garlic powder. And then I'm just going to take some pizza sauce that I had left over. You could use pasta sauce, basically the same thing. And I'm going to spread it all the way around on my pizza crust, essentially. And I am going to actually put some seasonings right on here before, some ingredients and some seasonings right on here before I add the cheese, because since I'm making a skull is mostly white, but I enjoy lots of flavor in my pizza, and I didn't want to exclude that. So I'm sprinkling a bunch of oregano on there. And then I actually had some pre-chopped items from some pizzas that my partner and I had made previously. Oh yeah, and crushed red pepper, of course. You need a little bit of that heat. So any special ingredients you don't want to be on the white part of your skull, you can put underneath. So I've got, like I was about to say, some chopped jalapenos and onions that are going to hide underneath the white of my pizza, or the white of the cheese. So I'm putting it on my pan here. I've got my oven set to 400 or 375. I can't remember. But if you just Google like tortilla pizza, it'll show up. I think it was like 375 or 400, and it only takes like 6 to 12 minutes depending on how much stuff is on there. I am loading this baby up with some mozzarella cheese because, again, a skull is white. I'm trying to go as close to the edge as I can because I want all of that sauce covered. And now I'm going to start building the face of my skull. So I've got some olives here, black olives, that I am putting for the eyes, and I'm going to put them for the little, like, nose cavity as well, like a skull has. It's kind of a funny shape here, but that worked well for me. You could also use pepperoni if you prefer that, or other ingredients. You totally don't have to do this the way I did, or use the ingredients I did. You can absolutely make this your own, depending on what you like on your pizza and the type of image you're making. Now I'm thinly slicing some poblano pepper. Again, I like a little bit of spice, so I'm using that. You could use a different pepper. You could use a different topping, of course. And I'm creating more of like a jawbone and then a crack on the top of the skull. It kind of curls up a little bit in the oven. It looks kind of funny, but I thought it would be cool to have a little crack on the top of the skull. For teeth, I am using some canned corn kernels because they are the perfect shape and they're all yellowy, almost like a pirate's mouth or something. I thought it would be just the perfect touch on this, and to be honest, I really think it did turn out perfectly as the teeth shape. By the way, I actually sketched how I wanted this to look and how I was going to make it before making this. I thought it would really help me. And now I'm transitioning and putting it into the oven right on the pan there. Again, not very long, like 10 minutes, depending on your pizza and what's on there and how your oven works. And then voila. Now, my pan did do that weird poppy thing while it was in there, you know, where you hear it like pop and it like the pan twists or something. So a few of my things fell out of place. So I did have to just carefully readjust them, which is really no big deal. Just be aware of that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't the pan popping. Maybe it was just the cheese melting. But I'm pretty sure when I heard that pan popping sound that everything just kind of like jumped and moved. But this is how our pizza is looking, and I still think it's pretty impressive. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the little crack on the top where those peppers are didn't quite turn out the way it was supposed to. But, you know, overall it turned out pretty well, and you get the idea if you know that it's a skull. Let me just pick his nose real quick. So our pizza is ready. There's our little skull. Some things moved around a little bit, but it's mostly pretty great. And I'm just going to let it cool off for a few minutes, and then we'll just enjoy our dinner. To pair with it, I'm making a kiwi cocktail. You can, of course, make this an adult cocktail, like a vodka or tequila or gin or whatever your drink of choice is. We've got these cool, like, skull ice cubes. I don't know if they're ready, but that's okay. Oh, they are. It's a little skull. Oh my gosh, that almost didn't fit. Okay. Put a little grenadine in there. Into our new glass. And some Sprite, 7-Up, seltzer water, whatever your choice is. I don't think I have cherries right now, so I'm going to leave it as is. But here is our delicious drink. Again, you can of course make this with whatever you want in it. Before we taste test, I want you to answer the question for the giveaway of what is your favorite pizza topping? All right, we're gonna take a bite. Now, I love my pizza with veggies. You could, of course, replace the olives if you don't like it with pepperoni or other things, but I love it. And a sip of our kitty cocktail. I think I'll also coat this with, Mod Podge has like a dishwasher safe Mod Podge. It does take 28 days to cure, but I think to make it for sure, I might coat it with that. But in the meantime, cheers! And if you liked this video, let me know. Make sure that to enter the giveaway, you comment on everyone's video on whatever they're requesting, and I'll leave that playlist down for you below. Thanks to Indy Jones for having me in this collab. Bye!